What is going on? Brendan here. So previously I've spoken about how to retire from your job extremely early, in some circumstances within 10 years. I'll put a link to that video here. In that video, I focused on the numbers. If you save a certain percentage of your income, then you can save enough to cover your spending and working becomes entirely optional. In this video, I'm going to tell you 11 goals you should achieve before the age of 30 to set yourself up for financial success. Now I can see all you older than 30-year-olds out there dropping your heads, but this video applies to you. You still have time to make these changes. You should just make it a priority to hit these 11 goals as soon as possible. Now, that being said, time is a huge advantage when it comes to investing. So knock these off ASAP and set yourself up on the path to financial success. Now, before I get into the list, please subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos. I create videos on how to retire early, how to navigate current market situations, and general financial tips and techniques. Now that that's over, let's jump into it. Obviously, the best way to set yourself up for financial success is to spend less and save more. But beyond that, here are 11 goals that you should aim to achieve before the big 3-0. Number 1, build an emergency fund of at least 3 months worth of expenses. This is the first step towards achieving financial independence. You need to be able to handle the unexpected expenses in your life without resorting to borrowing money. And by emergencies, I'm referring to things like medical emergencies, or in the event you lose your job, your fixed living expenses, or car repairs that prevent you from getting to work to earn more money. This money is not meant to cover the emergency of a spring break trip with your friends. I recommend your emergency fund be enough to cover 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. This will be enough to give you time to find a new job if you lose yours, or to cover most car or medical expenses. I like to base this number off of spending rather than your income or anything else, because you should be living well below your income level and saving and investing the rest. And also, you don't want to have too much in your emergency fund, because then you're missing out on investing and potentially earning higher returns. The number 2 goal is to pay off all debt, with the exceptions of maybe mortgages. By 30, you should have paid off all student loans, credit cards, and any other debt you have, with the exception of maybe mortgages. It is okay to have mortgage debt as long as your rate is below around 4.5%. Mortgages on personal homes and rental properties are okay, just don't overextend yourself. Number 3, build your credit score to at least 720. There are several reasons that your credit score is important, and if it's this high, then you've done a good job paying off bills, avoiding unnecessary fees, and you likely don't have too much debt. Having a good credit score can affect where you live. Before you buy a house, mortgage lenders want to know that you aren't going to default on the loan. A good credit score will tell the mortgage lender that you are low risk. And even once you're approved for a mortgage, your credit score affects your interest rates. A higher credit score means lower interest rates, which directly reduces your mortgage payment. If your credit score is around 720 or 750 for some, then you'll get the best rates available. Now I know what some of you are saying. I don't buy a home and I don't plan to, I just rent. Well, even when you rent, your credit score is important. Landlords use your credit score to decide whether to rent to you or not. Auto loans also require a good credit score. But you are watching this video, so you're savvy enough not to get an auto loan unless they offer you extremely good rates or 0% APR for a period of time. And then you'll pay off that loan immediately before any payments and interest kick in. Your credit score can even affect you finding a job. Some employers check your credit reports as part of the hiring process. There are many ways to increase your credit score, but the most important is paying all of your debts on time. I'll create a future video with details on how to improve your credit score, so subscribe and stay tuned. Number 4, build at least 3 separate sources of income. It is important to diversify your income to protect yourself against uncertainty. Your job and income are never guaranteed, so it's important to have a backup plan. Also, additional sources of income will put your path to financial independence on light speed, and you'll get there much more quickly. Just be careful not to allow your expenses to increase with the additional income. Personally, I have 4 sources of income. I work as a financial advisor, I'm also employed as a rowing coach, I have my investment income, and I have 2 rental properties that produce income. If something happened to one of these sources of income, then I still have the 3 others to help buoy me until I'm able to replace it. Or if it no longer excites me and the other 3 sources of income are enough to cover my expenses, then I can choose not to replace it. Number 5, max out your retirement plan contributions. By retirement accounts, I'm referring to some of the more common ones, things like 401ks or Roth IRAs, but also health savings accounts if you're eligible. And I know, a health savings account isn't technically a retirement plan, but it can be treated as one, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's go over the details of some of these retirement plans. For 2020, the maximum contributions allowed for a 401k are $19,500, or you can contribute $6,500 extra if you're over 50, so the limit will be $26,000. For Roth IRAs, the limit is $6,000, or $7,000 if you're over 50. And for health savings accounts, if you're single, then you can contribute up to $3,550, but if you have a family plan, then you can contribute $7,100. So 401k accounts have to be sponsored by your employer, and your contributions are deducted from your paycheck pre-tax. If you're self-employed, then you can open a solo 401k or a SEP IRA and get similar benefits. But as a self-employed individual, you have a lot of options available to you, so be sure to speak to an investment professional. Now, Roth IRAs are available to anyone, but there are income limitations for direct contributions. For 2020, individual tax return filers can contribute directly if their income is less than $139,000. If married filing jointly, then that limit is $206,000. There is a tear down period starting for individual filers if you make over $124,000, and for married filing jointly if you make over $196,000. But the good news is if you're over this income threshold, then you can still contribute to a Roth IRA through a backdoor Roth IRA contribution. I'll make a future video on backdoor Roth IRA contributions, so please subscribe and stay tuned. But essentially, traditional IRAs don't have the same income limitation on contributions as Roth IRAs. So you make an after-tax contribution to your traditional IRA and then roll it over into your Roth IRA. Now, on to health savings accounts. I actually consider these the best investment vehicles available. The reason being because they're triple tax-free. So what do I mean by that? 1, you get a tax deduction when you make your annual contribution. 2, your money goes tax-free. And 3, as long as you use your money for qualified medical expenses, then you never have to pay tax on the distributions. So it is essentially money that you never have to pay tax on, and no other investment product offers this. And the kicker is, unlike flexible spending accounts, the money in your HSA account does not have to be used in the year it's contributed. And even though, to get the full advantage, you have to use that money for qualified medical expenses, those expenses don't even need to be incurred in the year that you withdraw the funds from the HSA account. You have a few options. You can pay your medical expenses using funds from your HSA account this year and it's done. Or you can pay for expenses from your normal checking account, allow your money to grow tax-free, and then in the future, save your receipts and pay yourself back. So before age 65, any withdrawals from an HSA account that are not for qualified medical expenses are taxable as ordinary income and also receive a 20% penalty. But after you turn age 65, money can be withdrawn from HSA accounts penalty-free, but you do have to pay income tax, similar to an IRA or a 401k. In order to be eligible for an HSA account, you have to be covered under a high deductible healthcare plan. For 2020, this is a plan with a deductible of at least $1,400 for individuals and $2,800 for family. Also, you cannot be enrolled in Medicare. If you have any question if you're eligible for HSA, then just call your healthcare provider and they'll let you know. So number 6, begin to or continue contributing to taxable investment accounts. By age 30, you should have grown your income enough and limited your expenses enough so that you can max out your retirement plans and still have money left over to invest. This money should be invested in a taxable investment account, and this is particularly important if you're planning to retire early. With a few exceptions, the majority of the money in your retirement accounts will not be available to you without penalty until after age 59 and a half. If you plan to retire before age 59 and a half, then you'll need additional assets to support you until then. So number 7 is to find something you're passionate about and find a way to use it to add value to others. This can be anything. For me, it's helping people achieve their financial goals and coaching Rowan. So my career in this YouTube channel helped with the financial teaching goals, and my coaching exposes others to a great sport that have helped me achieve a lot in my life. This really can be anything you're interested in, from charitable causes to something that makes money to really anything else. But I think it's important to share our passions to try and help others. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if you find a way to use your passions to add value for others, then you'll likely also find a way to make money with it. So number 8, become a specialist or expert at something, ideally something that you're passionate about. This is the best way to improve your marketability. Specialists and experts are sometimes hard to find, and depending on your area, can be in great demand. If you can achieve this, it gives you a great deal of bargaining power and flexibility. Simple economics state that as supply decreases, demand increases, and vice versa. Experts are in shorter supply than the general employees, so demand for them increases. If there's a high demand for someone with your particular credentials, then that gives you bargaining power to increase your pay. This will also give you the freedom to change your employers. If you don't like your certain situation, then you'll likely be able to find a better one and change it. You can also use this flexibility to move to a different location if you'd like. I actually did this. I have the Certified Financial Planner designation. This is a difficult designation to get and is highly regarded in the financial planning space. I was living and working in New York City, but always dreamed of living in California. I quit my job and moved cross country without having another job lined up. Within 3 weeks, largely due to my expertise in the financial planning field, I'd found another job for higher pay. If it wasn't for my certified financial planner designation, then I likely would have had a much harder time finding a job and may not have even had the confidence to make the move in the first place. So number 9, build workout and nutrition habits. The earlier you begin to build a habit, the more long-lasting they become. At the age of 30, you are still relatively young to build lifelong habits. If you're older than 30, it may take more willpower, but it's definitely still achievable. 2 of the most important habits to establish are working out daily and eating healthy. Your workout routine should include a mix of cardio and weightlifting. I personally weightlift 3 times a week and I just do full body workouts. There's really no need to isolate specific muscle groups. There are obvious health benefits to working out daily. It has been proven to increase your memory and critical thinking, and that's aside from having a better beach body. Lifting is particularly important. Cardio burns more calories per workout, but weight training is better at building muscle, and muscle burns more calories when you are at rest, increasing your metabolism. One study measured participants' resting metabolism over a 24-week weightlifting period. In men, their resting metabolism increased by 9%, whereas the resting metabolism of a woman increased by 4%. While this may sound good, it is important to think about how many calories this increased percentage in resting metabolism actually represents. For men, it is about 140 calories, whereas it is about 50 calories for women. So that's why nutrition is also so important. You can't outwork a bad diet. If you want to be fit and look good at the beach, you have to establish good eating habits. I stick to eating whole, one-ingredient foods, things like broccoli, asparagus, chicken, spinach. Foods with more than one ingredient are hard to decipher and often have hidden ingredients that are bad for your health. So number 10 is related to 9. Learn to cook your own meals. This not only helps you stay fit and can improve your nutrition, but it saves a ton of money. Oftentimes restaurants and frozen meals will add things to their food to make them taste better or preserve them, but ultimately they're detrimental to your health and your waistline. When you cook your own food with whole foods, you know exactly what is going into it. Doing your own meal prep can save you a lot of money. When you go to restaurants, you're paying for the ambiance, the chef's professional skills, the waiter. Don't get me even started if you decide to buy drinks. The grocery store is much more affordable. With a little care, you can easily prepare delicious dishes for under $3. YouTube is filled with tutorials that will help you create delicious and inexpensive meals, so go experiment. And this leads me to my last goal. Number 11, be brave enough to fail at something new. Take risks to achieve your dreams. Now is the time to fail. You have plenty of time to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again. Trying something new and failing is the best way to learn and grow. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, is famous for saying, "I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." The only failure is to stop trying. So that's it. If you've made it all the way to the end, then thank you, and you're my new best friend. Be sure to speak with an investment professional before attempting any of the strategies I mentioned. Everyone has a unique situation, and it's important to look at yours to determine what is the best course of action. Let me know your thoughts on my list. Is there anything I forgot or left out? Tell me about it in the comments below. Also, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm out.